We've been saying it for weeks, talking about going live on this for a while. And this news right here is just more evidence of what we've been talking about, that Woody Marks is the guy to own in the Houston backfield. Now, this is a situation where the Texans could trade for Kenneth Walker, could trade for Travis Etienne. There are a couple running backs out there that fit the bill for a mid-season trade, an early season trade. Houston's definitely a team that could go in that direction. But I believe that if there's someone to bank on being a near league winner in this backfield, it's not Chubb. People keep saying Chubb. I've been saying it for weeks now. Stop mentioning Nick Chubb. You picked him up off the waiver wire. You're really loud about it. And you act like you got something. Smitty, we got something with Chubb. I found him in the trash can. Maybe it's going to work out. No, it's not. Nick Chubb's done. He was brought in to do some spot work. He was not brought in to be the starter. Mixon's in a walking boot constantly. He's got more than one thing wrong with his ankle, feet, legs, and he's done. His mileage is through the roof. He was fantastic at the beginning of the year, but he tailed off and broke down. And even if he did come back and have like a good 5 or 6 weeks, eventually Woody Marks is going to get his shot. Woody Marks is the rookie running back that this team drafted. He is the league winner. And I'm not saying he's a guaranteed league winner, but if there is a league winner here, it is this guy. And he's going at 195 overall. He's going at pick 195. You're talking about Giddens, Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt, who we also love. Taj Brooks, who we also love. Keenan Allen, not bad. Brashard Smith, we love him too. There's a lot of players we like in this territory, don't get me wrong. But Justice Hill, Dalton Schultz, Calvin Austin, this is cellar dweller territory. And even though we love some of these cellar dwellers, we do. Like Brashard Smith, other people won't draft him. We'll draft him. Let us handle it. We'll take it from here. Taj Brooks, great cuff. Must cuff with the release of Zach Moss. A must cuff to Chase Brown and all your Chase Brown shares. But Woody Marks is a gem here. A zero risk proposition. A player you continue to hear this channel talk about. And now the rest of the world's going to jump on the board the train. They're going to be like, I've got a bold take. Let me tell you the bold take. Bold take. Woody Marks. Woody Marks.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Woody Marks, make sure he's not on waivers. I mean, I've literally told you this for how long. I got the waiver wire show I'm still working on. I plan to kind of maybe we either launch that live tonight or I'm going to do an upload for that tonight. Maybe even before we end up going live on the Graveyard Show. We might have four videos today. But Woody Marks is one of these guys that's been on this waiver wire board. And I'm not moving him up because I want to keep this board historically correct from the last time we had it. But we've had Woody Marks on our preemptive waiver wire board for months. For months. You only have yourself to blame if you didn't grab him. We've talked about him being well deserving of a spot at near the top of this, but I just don't want to touch the board because historically this is kind of the way we had it. Months ago, Thornton, Milroe, Sanders, Milton, Arroyo, Fannin. We might have moved Arroyo up from like right here. So I may have touched that. Brashard Smith, Dylan Sampson, Cross-Merritt. Keith Mitchell, unfortunately, is falling a little bit out of favor right now. Nick Chubb is certainly on the board, but he's somebody we talked about as, look, he's going to be on the waiver board. He's going to be somebody that someone could grab, but he's not somebody that's going to be there for you at the end of the day. So on the next update tonight, Nick Chubb's going to be probably still on it for just the sake of he could get some work. He could get some touchdowns or whatever, but he's not going to be the long-term option in this offense. Now, Mixon still could come back and play week 1, week 2, week 3. We still have yet to hear what his status is and heading into week 1, but Mixon's not looking really good right now. Not to mention he's just not going to hold up. So Woody Marks is the guy to own, even if it doesn't really unveil itself fully in week 1. According to the Texans wire, reports that Nick Chubb's burst is nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere. It's not happening. I mean, I told you guys that he looked like a wild water buffalo. out there when he was trying to impress some teams. I didn't even know it was him. I thought it was maybe like an old retired player that put on pads and is doing some sort of like, old timers game or something where they don't tackle and they just run. Nick Chubb was out there moving left and right, and I'm like, who is this guy? He looked about twice the size. He had packed on more pounds than you would have expected. And while he's a gym rat, while he can jump up and hit his head on an 8-foot ceiling, none of that is anything that should impress you. Eckler is one of the most impressive rim or gym rat players. He can hit his head on a basketball rim. Like Eckler is a monster in the gym. He can do one-arm pull-ups. He can do more than one-arm pull-up. He can do like 8 of them, and not sideways, like holding onto your shoulder. He can literally stand normal. This is Austin Eckler, and do like 8 or 9 or 10 full one-arm pull-ups. It's unreal, but it doesn't mean he can play football, especially the running back position. So Nick Chubb's not somebody that's going to do anything for you. This guy right here, Woody Marks, I have his game log here somewhere. Man, I hope I can pull it up here. I think it is, I'll have to just grab it fresh because I'm going to grab like 10 graphics. But Woody Marks in college was a pretty amazing profile and prospect, looking at even just the stats. First of all, he's 5'10", 208. Let me put this up on the screen from ESPN so you guys can get a chance to see what this kid profile is like and what he looks like. Very exciting prospect. USC running back, 5'10", 208. He was a 4th round pick. Draft capital is not amazing, but it's also not the end of the world. Like we've seen this, work out. All it takes is him playing well and the team's interested. It's not like just because you're a 4th rounder, you have no shot. What that means when you're a 4th rounder and have low draft capital, it means the team might give up on you quickly if you don't produce. Or let's say Woody Marks goes out there, has a 100-yard game and a touchdown, and then he breaks his leg in the final play, and he gets the one game, and they're like, oh, this guy showed a lot of promise. They'll move on really quickly. They don't necessarily wait around for someone with low draft capital. So that's kind of where the draft capital comes into play. Doesn't mean that somebody like Kyron or Arian Foster, et cetera, doesn't get a shot. This right here, look at this 2024 line here at the bottom. Let me see if I have something I can highlight this with. I don't have anything right now at the top. I deleted it. Okay, so you'll just have to follow along with me. At the bottom right here, 2024, 1133, 9 TDs. Go to his receiving totals. 321, 47 receptions, 0 TDs. But look at this line right here. 502 yards in 2021, 83 receptions, 502 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's got the receiving profile. This is the guy you want in there. And when you look at his last season, 9 touchdowns on the ground, as I said, 321, but he had 1133 and 5.7 a pop. He's been productive for a while. This is one of those pandemic running backs, the 2020 season, where everybody just kind of got older. They played another extra year, and so he is not a spring chicken necessarily, but that is kind of par for the course for the last handful of years where we've had these older players, kind of remnants of the pandemic and what the pandemic did. This guy is 24 years old. You wonder why there's so many older running backs. That is why. It's the pandemic. It's that wasted 2020 and 2021 season that this guy kind of messed up for everybody. And it caused a lot of players to come out of college later because they didn't really fully get what they needed to get. They didn't get to climb the ranks that they wanted to climb. Everybody got delayed, and the whole process got delayed. So there's a lot of older players, even the quarterbacks, Bo Nix, Michael, everybody's just older. Is kind of wild. It'll kind of reset, I think, now walking into the next handful of years. But Marks is 24. But that doesn't concern me because running backs have a shelf life of 6 years anyway, so he could get into that 29 age territory just fine. There's no concerns there. Woody Marks needs to be grabbed. Woody Marks has the upside. Nick Chubb does not look good, never did look good. I don't know why people even mention his name. And at the same time, Mixon, even though he could be back, he's not somebody I'm going near. Not going near. This is the guy to own. And everybody's going to jump on the train soon. You're going to start hearing the Woody Marks. You heard it here first. Dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Woody season. Woody season. Let me know if you're on the clock too, and you need to figure out where you may or may not be looking, at drafting him, where he might be falling, territory you might be considering snagging him. Let me see if I can turn down the gain on this bad boy. Check, baby. Check, baby. 1, 2. I felt like my last show, I had a little extra reverb and or a little extra gain. Can you guys, does this sound a little better right here? Does this sound a little bit better than it did a minute ago? Hopefully there's a little less gain and almost like I'm yelling when I'm raising my voice instead of being filtered. And I have a filter on here, a limiter, but I feel like it wasn't working well because I had the gain up. Okay, Lopez, appreciate you dropping the super chat per usual. My boy, you are the man, the myth, the legend. Sam says, a name like Woody belongs on the outlaw list. Absolutely, bro. Abso-mother-freaking-lutely. I couldn't agree more myself. I'm not going to put him on a list right now just because I can't put everybody on there. You guys know we've been talking about him. It's okay if some guys rise up without being on the list. Shouldn't be drafting Joe Mixon in general. Nobody should. Nobody should. All right. Yeah, nobody should be drafting Nick Chubb. No one should be drafting Nick Chubb. Nobody should be drafting Joe Mixon high. I don't mind if you take him late and then cuff him to Woody. But nobody should be expecting anything out of Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is beyond his peak years. It's all a remember when game at this point. Hey, Smitty, Woody is available on waivers on my waivers. My bench running backs are Davis, Swift, Taj Brooks. Should I drop Brooks for Woody? I would say in general, if you have Chase Brown, no. In general, this is going to be a race to who gets opportunities first. I mean, Woody Marks is in line for more opportunities than Taj Brooks, but Taj Brooks is really good. So, I don't know. That's a tough one. Chat, vote on that one. I would tend to think that Woody Marks is in line for some work here. I do believe that. Brooks better not be, because that means Chase Brown's hurt. But I can understand holding on, especially if you have Chase Brown. You got to hold on to Taj Brooks. But can I just tell you this so you're prepared, Joey? If something happens to either situation, that player will be the top waiver wire pick. You know what I mean? You can't beat yourself up over it if Chase Brown got abducted safely by aliens and was not returned for a calendar year. You'd literally be kicking yourself. But that would need to happen. Woody Marks is probably in line for some immediate work or very, very soon. So you got to understand what we're dealing with in that, because there's pros and cons to it. There just is. Smitty, the water buffalo comment is so mean. Why, Scribbles? Why is that mean? How does that mean? He looks slow. He looked like he was trapped in water, and he couldn't move left or right. I don't understand what's so wrong about describing the nature of the movements of Nick Chubb. I don't understand why. When did we become so sensitive, bro? I mean, what are we, a sensitive Sammy? We can't say somebody's out there moving like a water buffalo. Someone's out there moving like a what do you call those things? A sloth, bro, real slow. What's so mean about the guy's been amazing for years. He's gotten all the accolades. We pumped him up. He's gotten standing ovations, a whole lot of goodness. What, he's supposed to be just held up on a pedestal his whole entire existence? I mean, it is what it is. I'm half kidding, but half of you is not kidding. Okay, I mean, come on, Scribs, toughen up, bro. I love you, pal, but what is that? What's up, Bruce? You're live. Hello, Bruce.
Hey, Smitty.
What's up, Bruce? What can I do for you?
Hey, with this news, what round would you? Because my draft's next week. What round would you take Woody Marks in? Like,
Well, his ADP right here is 195, so I imagine it climbs a little. I think he's got to feel it out. I wouldn't be scared to take him in like the 180s, to be safe. But I mean, you're not going to be. Don't get crazy, Bruce. He's not guaranteed even to start in week 1. Like Nick Chubb could still start. Like, you never know. It could still be Joe Mixon, but reading between the lines here, Marks is the only very good running back on the roster right now. And keep in mind they got a beat up offensive line. It's in shambles. And then keep in line, like, you got to curb some expectation here. You got to take Marks where you can get him and hope for the best, and not expect him to be some sort of running back, elite running back too, when you pay for it. And you come back to me and say, Smitty, I did it. I took him in the 7th round. That would be insane.
Oh, no. I was trying to think of the last 3, but I was kind of looking at him as a bye week replacement type guy. If one of my running backs are on a bye, I might be able to slide Marks in.
No burst. You're done. Get out. Chubb, you're out. You're done. Go sit on the bench next to Caleb. Look, I don't know. You just got to feel it out, bro. There's no way to tell you. Pick him at, every draft's different. Some drafts he doesn't get drafted in. So the final pick. Like, if you're drafting tonight or tomorrow, you could draft Woody Marks as the final draft selection. You might not even need to draft him. You could pick him up after the draft. And then there's some drafts he might go in round 15 or 16. I don't know. Depends on the hype. But there's no. The what?
I says, well, I hyped him even last time.
Yeah.
Really big.
What else you got, Brucey? Bruce?
What do you think on, I gotta think. I'll stay on hold.
All right, you stay on hold.
Stand by.
Go ahead, Travis. What can I do for you?
I think you should go live and apologize to Nick Chubb first.
I mean, what are we getting to? What I gotta say, he might share. And the Scribs, I'm not mad at you, Scribs. You don't have to apologize or anything. It's just like,
no, it's not just him. It's just a example of society today.
I mean, I looked like a water buffalo a couple weeks ago, but now I'm pumping iron using the Sculpt. What is it? The Mr. Sculpt. One of the new sponsors. Look at this bad boy. They sent me this thing to test out. This is called Mr. Sculpt. I'll be putting it on my IG. Tell them I sent you. This is pretty for culture. Yeah, the culture definitely got. Let me see. How do I do this? I think it's like this. Okay, so you're supposed to get like a pop in chest. You do that up top. You do it out straight, and you do it down low. You get all parts of the chest, and it is hard. It almost like bruises you. And I'm not saying that in a negative. Like, this is not my negative review. I mean it like a positive way. It kind of beats you up, and it makes you tougher. Kind of like, when you get sensitive about the water buffalo comment. You just need to toughen up a little bit. Like this thing right here, my arms feel bruised. My chest feels a little bit like, I just feel like this really puts you through the ringer. But every time I come back to it, I feel a little bit tougher. It's almost like you're getting calluses without calluses. They're like, metaphorically. And then I do it, and my arms, like, it's pushing on my forearms really hard. And I feel like, but as I get back to it, I feel tougher. This thing's pretty crazy. I'm going to have to. Oh boy, I'm getting stronger. Anyway, I used to look like a water buffalo. I was wearing a meat suit a few months ago. It is what it is. I saw myself in the mirror and I said, what is that? That's me. You know when you're walking at a building and it's a little bit stretched out, but you're walking next to glass like on a building and you see something, you're like, who's that? That's me. I'm wearing a meat suit. Holy. So we're dropping the LBs. All right. Yeah, that thing's tough. I literally feel like bruised, but like in a good way. That thing's tough, man. That thing ain't no like shake weight. I mean, it is a rough device, but in a good way. All right, super chat here. What's your thoughts on Keon Coleman this season? I like him a lot. I like him at cost. I'm not overly excited. I'm a little bit pessimistic and optimistic at the same time. I think you can only be at this point, just given how Josh Allen even comments about his wide receivers, let alone uses his wide receivers and proves to use his wide receivers. So I'm torn. I very, very much am excited and torn at the same time. I know the talent's there. Just started playing underdog and had a question about the weekly winners draft. Does a $10 entry give you a chance to win $20K every week? Yes. So you draft a $10 team once, and then every week the highest scoring team wins $20K, and everybody's using the same roster. You don't get to drop anybody. It's just 17 shots at $20K. Clean slate every week. You might be last one week, you might be first the next week. But yeah, and the weekly winners is cool because you almost don't have to worry about injury. Because if you, let's say, have a guy that suffers, well, unless it's season long, but if someone suffers like a 6-week injury or 4-week, or Rashee Rice, you could take Rice Rice should go in this 3rd round, not the 4th round. I don't know why on weeklies he doesn't drop. Nick Chubb, no burst. You're done. And then Coleman, I think I'm all set up on the super chats. Okay, go ahead, Travis. What do you got here?
Yeah, like the Chubb situation, if they weren't so thin at running back, it could be like a retire or cut situation. But it seems like they're so thin that you'll probably end up making a team. And it's kind of, I was looking at the Bills depth chart too. It's kind of the same way where like they obviously like Ray Davis a lot because they didn't draft anyone, you know. And besides him, all they have is Cook and Ty Johnson. So in a way, like, you know, they got to hope like something doesn't happen to Ray Davis because then they're backed into a corner. That's the only issue with that. But in terms of Houston, like, I'm surprised they didn't bring in any other backs. You know, like there's so many names out there. They could have drafted 2 running backs. It just leaves them in a really thin spot.
That's why the 2 teams that are most likely to trade for an RB are the Chicago Bears, because they're running DJ Moore out there RB right now, which is so wild. Look, I know that every team's kind of doing some weird things right now. We talked about it last time with tight ends. Like, tight ends are being used differently than normal.
Yeah.
We've got let's see, let me move this. We've got now Kyle Pitts running with the wide receivers, Brashard Smith running back running with the wide receivers, Pacheco running back running with the wide receivers. And we're not talking about like he's doing pass catching drills from the backfield. He's running with the wide receivers. Why? We don't know. To what degree will these players be playing wide receiver? Even Kyle Pitts, we don't know. And now DJ Moore is working as an RB. So, again, what does that mean? Is that just to get him used to these goal line situations? And Ben Johnson loves to be creative, and it was near the goal line. So it's not like he's going to be the starting running back. A lot of people are putting stupid memes out there, or not memes, updates and news reports out there. Is DJ Moore the new running back of the Chicago Bears? He's not going to be the running back of the Chicago Bears, but they clearly want to use him in some unique ways. $2 holler. I'll get to that 1 second. Thank you for dropping that. But Chicago and Houston are the 2 most likely teams to trade for a RB mid-season or maybe early. These are the 2 teams that are the most likely. Monangai could be pretty good. We don't know. He's getting some hype, and then he gets some negative stuff, and then some hype, and he seems to be on the hype side of things right now. DJ Moore, again, getting some RB work. But Houston is definitely a candidate to trade for RB. But you also got to wonder is what's their record? You know, with the offensive line woes, with Stroud not bouncing back yet, so we're waiting to see that. If they start off with like a 2-6 record, they're not trading for Kenneth Walker, you know. But if they somehow are like 3-2 or, you know, 4-3, and they're sitting there and they're like, you know, we're not getting it done, but we still have a shot at a playoff spot. Let's go ahead and make this trade. You know, then I could see that happening. Chicago, the same thing might be in order, but I could see Ben Johnson even with like a 2-5 record, let's say, before they bench Caleb. 2-5 record. I could see him saying, let's try and fix this. And we're still looking at the big picture. And they go ahead and at 2-5 still execute a running back trade. I think it's still possible. If they felt like that RB was their future and Ben Johnson wants to get his offense in the best shape it can be walking into the next draft. Breece Hall, I don't think Breece Hall gets traded because they've already went to him and said, you're not getting traded, because there were some trade rumors, and his head coach walked up to him and said, what do you think? You're getting traded? And he goes, I don't know. And he goes, you're not. So anything can change, but no, Breece Hall's not a trade candidate at all. Could it change? Maybe. Never know. But
you think Travis Etienne is on the trade list?
Yeah, as we said last show, last week, Etienne and Walker are the two most likely traded players, running backs. Etienne, Walker, Etienne. Other names could pop up, but those are the two guys. Those are the two expendable pieces that it appears the team, either in Seattle, they love Walker, but they're also like, what do we do with Charbonnet? And then in Jacksonville, you have Etienne in that Rachaad White role. And Rachaad White's another running back that could be traded. So I'd say Rachaad White, he's probably third. Etienne, probably 2, and then Walker 1. And Walker is the most attractive, I think, to go get. Rachaad White would be the third most attractive running back maybe to get. And there might be someone else I'd insert in between Etienne and White, but off the top of my head, White's unhappy. He wants out. Rachaad White is not going to be used that much this year compared to last year. Bucky's a 3-down back. I forget who is the person that came in barking and complaining about me telling him that Bucky's a 3-down back. And they absolutely went nuts in the chat. They're like, he's not a 3-down back. Yes, he is. yes, he is. He is. As real as this hump that I'm getting in right now is, Bucky is a 3rd-down back.
I remember on the one show, I forget who it was, but they got mad because you said that Sean Tucker was the backup, not Rachaad White.
Sean Tucker is the backup. Yeah. Rachaad White. But he's the starter. All right. What do you guys think that what do you think happens here? Travis, how long until Woody Marks starts a game? Do you think that Mixon's ready, or Chubb is still thought of enough for the moment to start week 1 and that Marks won't have a shot to start week 1? Do you think it matters what happens in the preseason? What if he goes out and goes ballistic? Because they can run him like preseason.
Yeah, I mean, I think preseason will actually factor into this. But if Mixon's out, it could be something like, I saw someone in the chat saying, Nick Chubb will still start, which starting, quote unquote,
maybe
only means you play the first snap of the game. That's how you start a game. He could come off the field after 3 or 4 snaps, and Woody Marks.
Yeah, no, he's getting like 8 or 10 carries max. Nick Chubb cannot play football at a full capacity. Anybody that thinks so, anybody that says so or thinks so, you how many shares deep are you in Nick Chubb for you to be so off base?
I'm on your boat, Travis, but I kind of think like this: when it comes to the the short yard, ground and pound, like we need 1 yard or goal line work or whatever, then Chubb will be in. But beyond that, it's gonna be Marks.
Yeah, goal line stuff he could do maybe, but if he has no burst though, like
None.
first and second down, he's not even going to be valuable for them. It's just going to be short yardage stuff.
Yeah, he'll be in there.
That's what I have him as.
And that won't last long because Marks is a big boy too. So this is not.
Right.
Chubb is going to get replaced on even the work they give him eventually. And Chubb staying healthy is the tallest order I can imagine. So him playing even at an 8 carry per game capacity lasts maybe 6 weeks. And then Mixon, even if he comes back, is so injury riddled and needs surgery on probably 2 or 3 different fronts. His legs are shot. He's been put through the grinder. The same amount of breakdown that Mixon has in his feet, ankles, and legs is the same that Christian McCaffrey is flirting with every single time he hits the field. And that's why Christian McCaffrey will look great in week 1, probably. He'll look really good in week 2. People will be like, "Charge you, Christian McCaffrey." And I'm just going to say, no, you didn't tell me anything. We're still waiting for exactly what we predicted to happen. No one's saying he can't look good for a month and a half of football. But when Christian McCaffrey's not on the field in weeks 14, 15, 16, 17, what are you going to say to me? Are you going to say, oh, bad luck? Or what's going to be your excuse for Christian McCaffrey balling out for a month or 2? Even 8 weeks, 2 months of football could be a top 5, 6, 7 running back. You better trade him. And if you think the answer is Garendo, we're going to own Garendo. If you're in a draft with anybody that watches this channel, we already own Garendo and we get the best of both worlds. I'm going to have Genty and Garendo at the same time. You can only have one. And the week that McCaffrey goes down, or if he lingers for 2 or 3 games badly, you're suffering and bleeding out. Whereas I'm waiting to use Garendo. I've been using Genty the whole season. He's been outscoring CMC anyway, or they're neck and neck, let's say, in the best of scenarios for Christian McCaffrey. And then Garendo steps in, and in the leagues where I drafted Genty, I got Garendo and Genty. I get 2 RB1s, essentially, if Garendo gets that work. But insane to me how many people think that Christian McCaffrey is going to be playing football, elite football, weeks 14, 15, 16, 17. It's just, I got a bridge to sell you. I really do. It's an imaginary one, and I'll still sell it to you. I'll sell you a fake bridge. I'll sell you a bridge that doesn't even exist. And we'll have Jordan James in a lot of these scenarios too, especially the dynasty ones. Jordan James and Garendo are a handcuff together. I still have not tweaked the handcuff board entirely, but Garendo, James, and Christian McCaffrey. Blue, Sharps. And right now I do feel, Davis may actually rise up above Benson for now. Mason's not even really a cuff at this point. He is and he isn't. I think we still keep him there because I think his price tag's still decent enough that I don't think it's like Monty, or Monty's not a cuff. Monty's a standalone player. Hunter, Jarquez, Bigsby might be. Jeez, I don't know how to rank these anymore right now. I got to come back and do this. Bigsby is starter now, so I don't know. We got to redo this one. Right now, he still kind of feels like a cuff, though. I think you can kind of draft him as a cuff. We know he's a starter. But I don't know if anybody else does. So technically speaking, he still kind of needs to linger here until it gets widely accepted or it gets announced or something. But he's running with the ones. Sounds like he's the number 1. Etienne's the Rashad White. Bigsby's the Bucky. And Tootin's the Bucky if Bigsby doesn't work player. So it's almost like Tootin and Bigsby, and you could leave Etienne, farting in the wind. But I also don't mind in best ball drafting all 3. If you're doing some sort of hero RB approach, you punt RB until the end of time, and then you come back in and you say, let's go all 3 of Liam Cohen's running backs. Liam Cohen's running backs. And yeah, I don't know. Tough.
Did you see that super chat that had no comment with it? I think he posted what he meant to put in the super chat right underneath.
I think super
you
chatted.
just read it off?
I think he super chatted a second time. Yeah. So he dropped.
Oh, did he? Okay.
So here's the second one. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you. Brandon Jackson says, in a 10-man non-PPR keeper league, would you keep Gibbs at the 2.1, Bucky at the 10? Bucky would be value, but Gibbs can break fantasy. He can break fantasy there. But again, this comes down to the very simple analysis of if you keep if you keep Gibbs, you only get Gibbs there. If you keep Bucky, you get a player, maybe it's not Gibbs, but you're getting, let's say, BTJ or Hampton. If, let's say, there's so many players kept that everybody's moving up a tremendous amount. I mean, imagine getting rid of this number 2.1 player. You're getting Bucky and that player. It doesn't make any sense to keep Gibbs. It just doesn't. As much as he's a monster from the 2 spot, you're talking about Bucky, who you draft kind of near there anyway, and you're getting an additional Bucky-ish type of player. So you're getting 2 players. Even if it was a JSN, somebody that is actually a lot further down, but just giving you an example. Hampton, JSN, those guys go in like the 3rd round, top of 3, somewhere around there. And we're talking about the 2.1. So if you take like 10, 12 players off the board through keepers, you're telling me you're going to throw away a Garrett Wilson and Bucky for just Gibbs? I don't think I could do that. That's a lot of talent. Not to mention the 2.1, it might even be a better player than what I'm saying. So keep Bucky. It's not close, bro. I love Gibbs. I do. But imagine getting your 1st and 2nd round pick and Bucky versus your 1st round pick and Gibbs and then no Bucky. All right.
You got time for a quick trade question, or actually, I guess it's a trade question.
Yeah, hit me with it.
So it's a redraft league. This is Bryce in the chat. Which side? JD5, Kyron, and Jaden Higgins, or Lamar, Hendy, and Odunze. And it's redraft.
Hendy and Odunze. JD5, Kyron, Higgins. So JD5, Kyron, Hendy, Lamar. That's so tough because honestly, like Lamar and JD5 are so close, and I have JD5 higher, but Lamar's clearly, capable of being as good. I just trust him a little less because he's had so many disappointing years on top of, some good ones now. But he is getting kind of better. He's learning to throw better and scoring more, throwing the ball. Didn't run as much last year, still did better. So he's doing really well. Hendy over Kyron. I'd probably rather have Hendy long-term, but Kyron now. And then Higgins and Odunze. I'd rather have Odunze by quite a bit, even though I do like the Higgins side. This is a tough one, man. I mean, this is kind of like you're almost doing an even trade, and it makes it almost. I don't want to say both. I don't want to say both teams get. Oh, it's redraft. That's right. I don't want to say both teams get worse. I'm going to say JD5, Kyron, Higgins if it's redraft. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was leaning. I think Kyron probably deserves an edge over Hendy in redraft. You know what you're going to get out of Kyron.
They're both good, but give me JD5. JD5 I rank higher, Kyron I rank higher, and Odunze I rank higher. So the only player I rank higher on this side is Odunze, so it's pretty easy. From a dynasty perspective, I might have a different struggle because of where Hendy can rank.
Yeah. Yep.
Bruce, you got anything else? We probably won't be here much longer just because I got other stuff I got to try and do, and then we'll be back at midnight Eastern.
Yeah, I got one on late tight ends. Which one do you prefer, Arroyo or Pitts? Because they're both going pretty late.
Dynasty Arroyo, Redraft maybe Pitts by a hair, but that could change in a millisecond. It could change with one news report. It can change with one wind. The wind shifts it all. It's really close. Okay. Arroyo's that good. He might be that good that quick. But I think it's also important to suggest that, you know, you start keeping that Arroyo is going to the moon kind of a little bit more on the dynasty burner versus, you know, the redraft forefront. All right, Bruce, appreciate you, bro.
Yep. See.
All right, did you know I was still on here or no?
Yeah. Oh, sure. 5-1. Let me go to 512, then the 520 caller. So 512, your first. Is this BBQ?
Yeah. What's up, man?
BBQ. I still got to save your number in here. What's up, my man?
Hey, man. Something I wanted to talk about the other day. But Hampton came out, carried the ball a couple times. They took him out, and I watched that, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, here's a rookie. He's not getting a lot of snaps, and I'm thinking they're getting ready to load him up for the season. And I think it's more of an indictment on Najee's condition. Ron, if you're listening, put your earmuffs on. I don't think. I mean, they signed Najee before the draft. They got Hampton. They didn't think they were going to get Hampton. I mean, they're just going to plug this kid in. He's going to get all the carries they can give him. He's going to work.
I don't know if you may have not been here for our live stream after the game, but after the game we hammered that point home like for an hour and a half. But yeah, Hampton, the fact that it's no problem bringing it up. Some people didn't see it, but I'm just saying, make sure if anybody wants more on that topic, we literally have an hour and a half of it, I think. But Hampton came out, he went in, 2 carries, and then people started to say, like, there were a couple of people in the beginning of the live stream that were like, he didn't look that good. He had 4.5 yards per carry. He had 2 carries, 4.5 yards per carry. It's dumb to even judge 2 carries, but if someone wants to go there, he had 4.5 yards per carry. So your argument's completely done. You're done. You're done. But Hampton being put in there and taken out like he was this precious, piece of gold. Like, here, let's carry him over to. I'm surprised they didn't put him on one of those seats that everybody picks up and carries and walks over to the bench. Make sure he's in a air conditioned tent, and they're gonna give him a pedicure and a manicure, and just keep them all just in a bubble. That's what it felt like. Like BBQ just said, they took care of him like he was a starter. Okay, get him out of there. Get him out of. Rush him out of there before he gets hurt. So that was very telling. And the fact that Najee's already behind, he entered in 50-50 with Hampton. Najee didn't have an edge. He didn't. They both were learning the offense at the same time. So the fact that Najee's been missing, the fact that we have no timetable on Najee and his eye, the fact that Hampton's taken over all of the first down work, there's no way for Najee to claw it back. And even if Najee looks good when he goes out there, this is the future, and he's already been handed the now. So how in the hell is that going to work? There's no way on a 1-year deal of Najee, you dial back Hampton and say, Najee, we did sign you, here you go. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. If he's producing, and he will, there's zero reason for this team to dial back their future, which ironically in a very, unexpected fashion turned out to unveil right away. You know what I mean? There's zero, like you said, there's zero chance that this thing is getting unraveled unless he suffers an injury and then Najee's back in time. But even if Najee comes back, he's so far behind. Even if he came back today, he is so far behind. There's nothing. He might get goal line work, but when he doesn't have an effective, run at that and Hampton looks better, Hampton's going to take it all over. Hampton is and BBQ, when we came into the live stream, we had people immediately, like 2 or 3 people going there, taking him at 2.4, 2.5. And we're like, no, don't do that yet. You don't need to do that. We'll be okay if it goes there. But everyone started talking about like second round. He's still going in 3, kind of creeping to the top of 3, but you need to take full advantage of it. Don't grab him at 2.2 just because you want to be the guy that did it. Be careful, be wise. But he will climb into the bottom of 2. I have almost no doubt about it. And then what that does for Bucky, we talked about this in the live stream too, that a lot of times, and then I'll go back to BBQ. A lot of times when a player climbs into another player's spot, so here's round 2, here's round 3. So Hampton's like down here right now. And in some cases, he's at the 3.1. And then Bucky's right here at like the 19, 20, 18, 15. If Hampton climbs up ahead of Bucky, then Bucky doesn't just drop one spot. You know, Hampton, he might drop like 3 overall ADP spots. He might drop 4 overall ADP spots. And the prediction is that if Hampton does climb above Bucky, you know, or another player, that player might drop into the 3.1. So we'll see what happens. But nothing will make me happier than to have all the shares that I already have of Hampton. The HHH and Associates, we've been cleaning up like
in a jam. Call
like no other.
HHH and Associates.
And so to have all those best ball drafts where Hampton's been drafted already, amazing value. And then nothing will make me happier than to see Bucky go to 3.1, 3.2. That would be the best of all worlds, to be honest. Go ahead, BBQ.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the thing about Hampton is the guy's got really good vision. He you know, we talk about Ibuka having this, you know, being NFL ready. He's ready to come in. Hampton's got the prototype, you know, NFL ready body. He's a bruiser. I mean, he's very slippery. I just like the way this guy runs, and the fact he was going later in the draft was just absolute value. What a steal. And I think he'll start creeping up. And I'm just hoping the Chargers put him out there for a couple plays and take him out so people don't really see how good this guy's going to be, especially now that line is revamped. Mm-hmm. I mean, the middle part of the Chargers line was the problem, not the tackles. But now the middle part of the line is good. I mean, they're just going to feed this.
Yeah.
He is going to ball.
And he's not really a Gibbs or a Bijan runner. He kind of, the best way to describe him would be, kind of reminds me of like Lev Bell in a way. He's very much reads his blocks, and he's going to kind of use what the advantages of the offensive line and the blocking. Like, I'm not saying he can't be a bulldozer at times, but he is a very good vision. Just kind of a very talented running back all around. You know, whereas some players, and I'm not saying these other players aren't talented, they're just so good at bulldozing over somebody. Like Bucky's been working on his vision, and what that's scary to think about. The fact that his coaching staff said that he had to work on his footwork. His footwork was sloppy last year, and he made a lot of unnecessary steps and movements. And the fact that he's cleaning that up is just, that's got to be frightening for defenders, because Bucky was insane. But Bucky's a bulldozer. Bucky's just an absolute bulldozer. Two different running styles, Bucky and Hampton. Hampton's like smooth, and he's kind of like what's the best? I'm trying to think of a running back. I don't think there's very many in the league right now that really even fit the bill for Hampton, but I'm trying to think of a running back that had that smooth, like almost like a, kind of reminds me of like a Reggie Bush, the way he moves a little bit. I don't know why. Reggie Bush meets Fred Taylor's a good one. That's a really good one. Kind of moves like Fred Taylor.
Yeah,
Fred Taylor's
a good one.
A lot quicker.
Yeah, that's real good.
But it's kind of like that. He's kind of he stops, kind of looks around, and then figures out ways to. That's a good one, Hazelnut. I like that one. Fred Taylor's perfect. Really good running back, and I think the scheme in playing for Harbaugh that's a good place for him to be. You put him in a place where he needs to be a total bulldozer. Maybe he wouldn't even be quite as effective. Maybe he would. I like him. I like him a lot. I mean, it's why he's part of the HHH and Associates, man. All these guys are going to climb in value.
Jam. Call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and
I'm just afraid that we're going to lose 2 or 3 of them, you know, to a high climbing ADP. You know, I celebrate it. I get excited because, you know, historically you start feeling really good about what the calls have been, but then you start remembering that every time we celebrate something like this, that means they're costing more and we're actually not going to draft as much. And you're like, I don't know if I want to celebrate it. I don't know. Anything else, boys? Let me go to this other caller.
Is there one other caller?
Yeah, let me go to 520. You're live.
Yo, what up, Smitty? It's Theo.
Theo, what can I do for you, Theo?
Yeah, I just had a trade for you, or a trade that I got done. Wanted to get your opinion on it.
All right.
So I sent away Jacobs, Jennings, and Marshawn Lloyd for Breece Hall and a 26 second-round pick
Jacobs, Jennings, and Lloyd. Okay.
for Brees, and a second and 26.
All right. I like it. Not everybody will. I like it. I like Hall more than Jacobs by quite a bit. And then Jennings, I don't care about, to be honest. I'm sorry. I like him, but he's wants a new contract. That's a crowdy wide receiver room. Ayuk will be back to make it even more crowded. I don't love the offensive line right now, and the reports coming out of San Francisco. I'm not interested in Jennings. So yeah, give me Hall all day long. This is a top 5 potential running back still, and I think people forget that.
My starting lineup now, after doing that trade, because Hall was the last piece I needed to complete. I like Thanos Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Is I have Josh Allen, HN, Brees Hall, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, Nico Collins, AJ Brown, Joe Burrow, Sam Darnold. Oh yeah, that's my starters. Yeah.
Nice. Like it, bro.
18.
Nice work.
18.
All right, we'll see you later, bro.
It's a 12 team too, so
I must have. Good team.
yeah.
Nice job, man. All right, we'll be back, okay? Call back in, okay? I'll
Thanks,
save your
Smitty.
number so I got you in here, all right? Maybe at some point we'll put like some sort of like Thanos Infinity Stone like bracelet type hand wrist bracelet thing, or a amulet or something on him, and then when you zoom into that, it's got like got more steals or sleepers or gems in there. I don't know, like the secret 5. BBQ, final thoughts, my boy. We'll be back though.
No, that's it, man. It's great show as always. And I want to say I do love when you do the short, like 10-minute, quick little hitter videos. I think that's great stuff. I love to see that. Love to hear that.
We'll keep doing that. 7:30 a.m. Eastern is when they'll drop. All right, my man. We'll see you tonight. Later. Thank BBQ if you've got a gifted membership from him in any time in the last year and a half or whatever. How long? He's been here about a year now, I think, actually. Travis, any final thoughts on this situation or anything else?
No, I'm good. I'll see you in the grid, Dan. Later, Smitty.
All right. We'll see you later. Appreciate you. Thank you to my mods. Appreciate my mods. We got another super chat here from Linton. Linton says, how do you value MHJ Murray this season, individually and or stacked? I don't value stacks like that in best ball at all. It's not a thing. I know in best ball, or non-best ball. In best ball, I know it's valuable to have stacks, but in non-best ball, I meant to say, it's not a thing. It sometimes hampers you to have the combo. I think there is some good scenarios. It's more fun. Like when I draft Burrow, I want Chase and redraft non-best ball. I do. I admit it. It's a fun stack. It's why we have this right here.
The stack above all stacks. It's time.
But to draft that entire stack together in non-best ball can hamper you sometimes more than can help you. To have just Chase and Burrow, it's not bad. But as far as in best ball, I love it. In non-best ball, I mean, this wouldn't be the reason why this wouldn't be devastating. Let me tell you why and where and how stacks are good, bad, and devastating. So if let's say you were drafting the Kyler stack, right? You're going to get Kyler way downstream. So Kyler is some sort of, middle round pick, and then MHJ is going in round 3. If the Cardinals have a bad game, you still got your first rounder, your second rounder, your fourth rounder, your fifth rounder, your sixth rounder. You've got monsters that can contribute and pull the weight of the team. So not a detriment to have. So the answer is I don't mind that one. If you've got a draft, let's say Lamb right here, and you draft Dak way later, that's only one pick. If he falters or Dak falters and Lamb thus falters, you have a second, a third, a fourth. You got a lot of firepower to potentially save you. if you've got a draft, let's say, like, let me give you an example back in the day when Mahomes was going here. You have Mahomes, and then you had Kelsey back in the day when he was going here. When KC had a bad game, you were screwed because all you had was your third rounder, your fourth rounder, your fifth rounder. Your team was less equipped to carry the lacking production of your top players. So at the end of the day, if you do a stack in non-best ball, you want it to look like this. Dak, CD, or even better, MHJ Kyler, because it's not going to hold you back if the Cardinals suck that game. But I think MHJ is going to eat. I think he's going to have 10 TDs, 1,000 yards. Be a low-end wide receiver 1 at the very least. I think that's where he probably ends up, about 10, 11, 12, somewhere 13. Maybe 8, 9, 10 if he has the best year that he could have. And I think he's capable of it. I think he still could be eventually a top 5 to 7 wide receiver. I really believe that. I think that the wide receiver pool is so young and explosive, though. It's not crazy to leave someone like him out of it, though, either. You know, because Hunter's going to climb higher than I think people ever expected. Hunter's going to be a monster. Thank you for your super chat. I'll be back. Don't forget to get on over to the Patreon. The Patreon is a 24/7 live chat group. When you hear people say, I've got a chat group, and you're like, I don't. You do now. You do now. It's right here. $10 a month. Cancel any time. Try it for 1 month. You don't like it, then deuce on out. It's fine. I think you will like it, though. We'll be back at midnight Eastern, as always, pretty much every night, where we draft on Underdog, promo code Smitty, this link right here. So make sure you smash the link that I'm going to drop in the live chat. The link is right here. And join us for a draft tonight. We'll be drafting. Appreciate you. We'll see you tonight at midnight Eastern. I don't know if I'll be live before that because it's already 5:40. So we should be my time, 9 o'clock, midnight Eastern. See you then. Hit that link in the live chat. This is the Underdog link right here. Play Underdog, promo code Smitty. Deuce!
There are 2 5s? KD 5? AR 5? There can't be.
Oh no. They're gonna cross streams. Oops. Well, damn. He's a fragile Freddy.
He's a 5. JD5 is the only 5. JD5 is him, and now all can see. He graduated from Himothy University. Unleash the Washington Kraken. JD5 to Saturn
And beyond.
to Saturn
And beyond.
Supernova.
All right, prepare for take 1. All right, action.
He's a box score Bobby. He's a little sloppy. Box score Bobby. He's a box score Bobby. He's so sloppy. Bobby.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, live whenever big news breaks, live at midnight Eastern tonight, and live Monday through Friday. See you all later. Deuce.